They just took me to the spot that it's hysterical. it's the book of Job, and the guy's replying to his friend. He's sorry. Okay, he says, "Yes, I realize you know everything. All wisdom, all wisdom will die with you." And it goes on and on, but it goes on and on saying stuff like that. It has me hysterical because he's so dramatic throughout this whole book. But it's true. It like goes on and on about how, let me just read the one part. Let me say, okay, so yes, I realize you know everything. All wisdom will die with you. Well, I know a few things myself. You are no better than I am. And who doesn't know these things you've been saying? I, the man who begged God for help and God answered, have become the laughing stock to my neighbors. Yes, I, a righteous man, am now the man they scoff at. Meanwhile, the rich mock those in trouble and are quick to despise all those in need. For robbers prosper. Go ahead and provoke God. It makes no difference. He will supply your every need anyway. Because, as we've talked about, like, God is an energy, not a human being with morals and standards and right and wrong. It's just an energy. That said, it's the highest energy of all, so it's the purest form. That's why we were given the basic rules. And, sorry, I thought I just saw something. And so that's why it's really the intentions behind your actions, right? So it's like what you put out, you get back, right? But, so people can get away with things. We've talked about this in depth, but thinking they're, quote, getting away with it, right? They're cheating the system. They get so excited. But their intention was one of stealing, lying, thieving. It was ill intent, right? It was a lower energy. So it usually takes a while. It's not always instant. They get that back. And then why? And then you get, your answer finally comes when you're like, oh, fuck, I did put out that bad intention or I did whatever. And so it's really the intention behind your actions. Where are you moving from? Are you moving from ill intent or are you moving from pure innocent intent? And that is very, very important because it's like you might not realize what you're doing it may be wrong, or it may harm someone, or it may this or that. But if that was not your intent, and your intent was pure and true, and only your heart will prove that. In other words, humans can't judge that. I mean, some stuff is blatantly obvious, but other things, there are very, very good masks out there. And so it's like those with a pure heart, it seems like they, quote, end up getting away with it or get away easier or this or that. And it's like, no. They never meant to harm. And then when they did get, quote, punished, but they learned even then to see where it was wrong. So they'll continue moving with good intent, pure intent, and then not make that mistake again. They can see the error. They learned the lesson. There was something else they were showing. It was something about because God's the highest vibration of all. So it's everything I just said, but it does feel like sometimes because of this, it's like that simple of a rule. We've talked about it like divine intervention, right? Because here's what's challenging about that sometimes too, is because again, it gives the impression that there is a morality code that humans have made, but they're placing it on God. God's not going to have you put any chains on him. It's just not how the universe works. It's like we were given we were given the simple rules for our sake, for our human nonsense, right? To help us, right? Where it's like, look, here are the rules of the universe. Here are the laws of the universe. Abide by them. It's simple, right? It's like, take the one simple rule, and if you can follow that, of do unto others as you want done unto yourself. Don't do unto others as you don't want done unto yourself. Say it whichever way works for you. Then you're golden, because then you are moving from your highest and best, which is for the highest and best of all. And so it's like your focus does need to be on you. Where are your intentions coming from? Are you at your highest and best? Are you loving and honoring yourself so that you in turn can do that for others? But a lot of people, I think, just don't even recognize that, because there have been so many human errors, so many human moral codes, so many humans telling you what's right and wrong. That's their right and wrong. That's their philosophy. That's their books. That's not the universe's code. So humans might label some person bad according to society standards, according to human rule books. This person is a bad person. And yet the universe is forever favoring that person. Right? It's like everybody keeps thinking they're God, or their rules matter, or that God gives a fuck about their rules or their rule book. He does not. Because he is not a he. It is the highest vibration of all. It is the flow of the universe. It is universal law. It is such a intricate, ornate system, and yet it's also so simple. It's almost so simple we can't bear to believe that we can't fucking figure it out and go with that flow. So it seems more complicated. And explaining it can seem really complicated because we make it so, right? We make up all these other rules and we make up all this stuff, but we were given one simple rule to follow, because knowing most of us cannot manage, we cannot manage all the other rules. And it's like, well, all the other rules technically follow under the one rule. So if you follow the one rule, you automatically follow all the other rules, right? If you're doing unto others as you want done unto you, and you're operating, that means, and that was meant, that intention was meant that you're operating from your highest and best, your purest form. Automatically, you would not kill, you would not steal, you would not take from another. You would not desire another. Like, all that stuff is such less than nonsense. That's such a lower grade version. So it's like it seems, and those rules seem obvious too. Yet people are doing it all the time. Stealing people's ideas, stealing people's, in other words, it doesn't even have to be, like, I think it says, I forget all the rules. But it's like something like, don't harbor your neighbors, or don't envy your neighbor's things, or wife, or, in other words, yes, that's like the obvious stuff. But it's also don't take somebody else's idea. It's like stealing intellectual property, right? It's like this idea. It's like, well, you wouldn't do that. You'd think on your own. You'd love yourself enough to then be like, oh, that's really beautiful. And I have beautiful thoughts too. I'm going to go work on myself, Anyway, it goes on and on, but I thought it was really, really funny, because even everywhere, it's the Bible. I love Rumi too. All these different places they take me to. We do all the teaching, a lot of the teachings, a lot of the Rumi, a lot of whatever. We reference the universe as a man. And I do it all the time. You hear me do it all the time, because it helps our little human brain to comprehend and understand. And I've told you that's how it's come to me many a times, in that form, in those visions. So it's like a projection, right? Like it's how my subconscious is working or operating. We could explain it a million different ways, but it's a way so that we can dialogue, It's a way that we can quantify in a form to verbalize. Yet it does need to be understood, because in doing so, we're only tripping ourselves up. So it does need to be understood that unconditional love is universal law, is the highest vibration of all, is source God, Allah, is the one and only. It's the highest and the best that we all strive for. And so when we don't consistently remember that and clarify that, and in turn we misrepresent by quantifying as a man, then we're putting labels and strings and ties on the universe, or speaking for the universe, which you're not going to do. The universe is the universe, right? Like the highest and greatest of all, purer than any of us silly humans. It doesn't have error. It doesn't. It's above all that. So we're always going to have error. We're always going to have trip up. We're always going to have a variation, a falseness in it, because our simplicity of it, right? We can't, and yet we like to discuss it. We like to learn. We like to understand, because we like to go with that flow. When we're in that flow, when we're in that universal flow, when we're swept up in, quote, his hand, his protection, fuck, it feels amazing. It feels so good. And so we attempt to learn and understand. And to me, that's what all this is about. The best way to do that is to become his best friend, right? Which means you get to love yourself, know yourself, understand yourself. You yourself are the universe. And so the more you love yourself, honor yourself, get to know yourself, the more the universe will come to you in a myriad of ways. And I've shared a myriad of ways that I interact with the universe all the time. And so the universe is doing that for all of us, right? It's not just one single person or a single group or a single religion or a single... No. Again, that's simpleness. That's simple human error to think such. No. Anyway, sorry, I'm looking at this one line about this guy talking to his friend. Oh, yes, I know you know everything. All wisdom will die with you. The drama. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.